Good afternoon. So today I'll be talking about percentage yield and percentage purity, which is starting from page 69 all the way until page 71. So I'll be going through the different questions and you can check your answer accordingly. Right, but before that, let me go through some things that you should remember. So first one, what's the difference between percentage purity and percentage yield? So percentage purity is actually the mass, right, or the number of moles of pure substance over the mass or mole of the entire chemical times 100%. Now, let's use the example 916 gold. So in 916 gold, assuming that this piece is the gold, right? And this gold, out of all this gold, this part 91.6% is actually gold. But the other percent can be other, which will be 8.4%, will be other elements. So that is what is meant by percentage purity. If there's any reaction that the gold will go through, only this part will be reacted. Okay, again, percentage purity, let's write down here, cannot be more than 100%. I know you might think that that's such a silly comment, but we do get such answers that percentage purity 100%, more than 100%. That means something is wrong with our calculation. Okay, now for percentage yield is what we've been talking in class currently, is that not all reactions happen perfectly. Some reactions do not happen completely, right? So percentage yield is actually actual yield, which is what you get in real life, right, divided by what is the calculated yield. So as what I told you, chemical equations, balanced chemical equation is perfect scenario. So the calculated yield is in the perfect world. That is how much I should get, right? The actual yield is what I actually managed to get. So if let's say for example in baking, we expect to bake a cake about this size, right, with all the ingredients, but the cake end up only slightly smaller. So our percentage yield is again lower. Okay, again, percentage yield cannot be more than 100%. You cannot get more than you calculated. Not possible. Cannot be more than 100%. If you get more than 100%, something is very wrong. Okay, so let's look at the first example. Right, so first one we are going to read, when 4.6 grams of zinc, let me label 4.6 grams of zinc, was heated in air, 5.2 grams of zinc was produced. Okay, so now you can see, as what we talk about limiting reactant, too much information. Okay, but the question tell me calculate the percentage purity of zinc. So I'd like you to highlight the word purity. When we're calculating percentage purity, we are interested in reactant. That means the reactant of the reaction, we are interested in that. So that means we must go either backwards, right, to find the reactant. So what they're trying to say over here is that my zinc, so let's draw a diagram. This one we thought it was zinc, but actually some parts, so this is 4.6 grams, some parts of this zinc is pure zinc, but maybe this part is other elements. So therefore, we must go and find out how much of it is other elements. So when talking about percentage purity, we are trying to find reactants. The reactant will be question mark. Okay, so reactant question mark when calculating purity. Right, so we will take this as total mass. So this is total mass, and then we want to find cancel this, and we want to find question mark gram here. Okay, so now let's start from 5.2 grams, go down, find the number of moles, this is step 1. After that, find the number of moles here, this is step 2, and then go up here, step 3. Okay, so let's do step 1 first. So we need to first find the number of moles of ZnO, which is equals to the mass 5.2. Always remember, ignore the 2 in front, and we need to find the MR of ZnO. So I'm doing this live, so I haven't calculated yet. So 65 plus 16, calculator. Okay, so this is 5.2 divided by 81. That would give me 0.0642 moles. So now I know that this is 0.0642 moles. I've managed to find 0.0642 moles of zinc oxide, and this zinc oxide is formed from the pure zinc, right? So now let's find the number of moles of pure zinc. So I have 2ZnO is to 2Zn, and this Zn is pure zinc. So I have 0.0642 is to 2 is to 2, so 0. Oh no, what's this? Okay, so we know the number of moles of zinc oxide, and this zinc oxide is formed from the pure zinc. So the mole ratio of zinc to zinc oxide is 2 is to 2. So that's why it's 2 is to 2. So 0.0642 will be equals to 0.0642. Now I can find, finally in step 3, the mass of zinc. And this mass of zinc is pure zinc. So it's equals to 0.0642 times the MR of zinc. We are ignoring the 2 because that is what we're supposed to do. So I have 0.0642 times 65. So 4.17 grams. So 4.17 grams of pure zinc, but I'm given total 4.6 grams. So the percentage purity is therefore equals to 4.17 divided by 4.6 times 100%. 4.17 divided by 4.6, that will equals to 90.7% purity. Okay, that's how we do that. Moving on to second question, question number 2. Let's read the question. When 3.2 of copper, now they don't give you equation, so you need to write it down, is heated in air. So when it's heated in air, it reacts with oxygen. It forms copper 2 oxide. So copper 2 is Cu2 plus, oxide is 2O2 minus. So therefore the formula of copper 2 oxide is CuO. Right? For this, now I need to balance this equation. So I have 2 oxygen on the left side, so I need 2 oxygen on the right side. I have 2 oxygen on both sides, but now my copper, I have 2 on the right side, I need 2 on the left side. So they asked me to calculate percentage purity. So I am interested in reactants. So reactant has to be question mark. So reactant is copper. So question mark gram. I would like you to also highlight 3.2 grams of copper. This is impure copper. This is impure copper, 3.2 grams. And I get 3.8 grams of copper oxide. So now I need to go down, find this, go across, find this, and then go up. Okay, so step 1, step 2, and finally step 3. So now in step 1, I need to find the number of moles of copper oxide. So that is mass 3.8 divided by 64 plus 16. That's 80. So then this is 3.8 divided by 80, and that is 0.0475 moles. Second step, we have mole ratio. 2CuO is to 2Cu. So 0.0475 is to 0.0475 mole. So now third step, mass of Cu. So equals to 0.0475 times MAR of Cu, 64 times 64, and I get 3.04 grams. So if I draw a diagram, this piece of copper is 3.2 grams, but in fact only 3.04 grams of it is copper. Other part is other substance, impure stuff. Okay, so the percentage purity for this is 3.04 divided by 3.2 times 100%. So 3.4 divided by 3.2, this is 95.0%. Okay, alright, let's look at question number 3. Question number 3 says that hydrogen peroxide decomposes to form water and oxygen according to the following equation. 68 grams of hydrogen peroxide is decomposed to form 1.2 grams of oxygen. What's the percentage purity of hydrogen peroxide? So again, purity, so I'm looking at reactant question mark. So reactant question mark over here, question mark grams. Okay, but very interestingly, they give me the oxygen in dm cube, so I need to be careful when I do my calculation. So I go down, I find this is step 1, go across, this is step 2, and then go up, step 3. Alright, okay, let's go. So step 1, I need to find the number of moles of oxygen, and I know its volume, so 1.2 dm cube. So because it's volume of gas, I need to divide by 24. So let's do that. 1.2 divided by 24, I get 0.05 mole. Okay, so step 2, mole ratio, 2H2O2 is to 1O2. And I know that my 1O2 is 0.05 mole. So the number of mole of hydrogen peroxide is times 2, 0.1 mole. Okay, so this is 0.1 mole. So now, step 3, I need to know the mass of hydrogen peroxide. So it's equals to 0.1 times the MR. So this is 2 times 1 plus 2 times 16, 34. So 0.1 times 34, 3.4 grams. So then some of you might be very shocked. Oh no, how come my answer is so small? Okay, so percentage purity is equals to 3.4 divided by 68 times 100%. So 3.4 divided by 68, that would be 5%. So some of you might be shocked, wow, how come the percentage purity is so low? So over here, have a hydrogen peroxide purity is always very low because 100% hydrogen peroxide will spontaneously explode. So most of the time when we sell hydrogen peroxide, we always sell them below 10% hydrogen peroxide. For schools, we only sell it at 5% and below. Alright, so hope you learned something. Okay, the next video we'll go through percentage yield.